You have 72 equals 3/4 C.
72 times 0.75.
Okay, so if you change that 72, if you change that into 0.75, then don't you need to divide both sides by 0.75? And what did you get if you do that? I got 96. Now if you didn't want to change it to decimals, what could you have multiplied by on this line instead? What do we call it? Yeah, but what's it called when we do that? There's a term for that. When you flop the fraction around. It starts with an R. Yes, we could have multiplied both sides by the reciprocal. And that would have been easier. But since we couldn't come up with that word anyway, then I'm hoping you change it to a decimal to begin with. Okay, and then please make me happy and get number 2 right. What is the correct answer on number 2?
Z.
Okay.
It's not G.
Is it F? Is it G? Exactly. So, what are we supposed to do first? Okay, if I just 5x minus 12, if I distribute that to, I'll have negative 2x squared minus 8x minus 18. Now what do I do? Okay, so if we combine like terms, 3 and negative 2 makes x squared. Positive 5, negative 8, minus 3x, minus 12, minus 18, you get minus 30. The answer should be F. If you got G, I'm betting what you did is, yeah, you tried to. So you didn't want to show any work on your paper, so you tried to do it in your head. You distributed and got negative 8, but you forgot that you had distributed that negative. So you tried to do 5 minus a negative 8 and got positive 13. Again, it's just one little step to show your work. It doesn't take long, but it's amazing how many people on the area test wrote numbers like 53.2 and pulled them out of thin air, and I don't know where they came from because they're not showing the work. It's awesome. Makes me so excited that after all these months together, that's what we've decided to go back to here at the end of April. Whew. Are there any questions about these bell ringers? Okay, then let's go through these notes. The first thing we're going to talk about today is finding the area of a circle. The A is cut off in our formula. I'm sure everyone in the room knows the area of a circle is A equals pi r squared. The R in that formula stands for the radius. The radius of a circle goes from the center out to any edge. The R stands for radius. Yes, there is going to be a worksheet to this. Okay, so we read our first example. It says that there's an outdoors accessories company. They have circular covers for outdoor umbrellas. The cover is 8 inches longer than the umbrella on each side. Find the area of the cover in square inches. Well, that's a lot going on. The first thing I would do is write A equals pi r squared. At least I have written the formula. I can get points for showing I know what formula to use. My next step is to decide the radius. And I'm hoping Dylan has his hand up because he's decided the radius. Yes, dear?
Would you decide the radius after adding 8 to 72?
Would you add 8 to 72?
Yeah, because adding 8 into what? Okay.
No, Dylan. I like it. But Dylan, if you're going to do, Juliana's trying to help you with this. If you're going to add 8 over here, you would have to add 8 over here as well. You might be giving yourself a little more work. Okay. So I like the way Dylan's speaking today. Okay, so if we look at that inside circle, we're told the diameter. Yeah, that's a word we hadn't heard before. Again, the words we're going to use today, we haven't used it in here lately. Diameter, radius, we're eventually going to use the word sector. That should have all been learned about in Chapter 10. Us going out of order is going to put us a bit at a vocab disadvantage, but it'll be okay, I promise. Okay, so we have this inside circle, and it has a diameter of 72, which means the inside circle's radius is 36. But Dylan is correct to decide for this entire length. So the inside circle from here to here is 36. But we're wanting for the cover not just to the 36, but 8 beyond that. So 36 plus 8, which is 44. So the radius we need is 44. What is 44 squared? No.
Oh,
Yes, dear.
Do you want the pie at the end?
Yes, I want to know the number with the pi first. Yes, ma'am. Okay, 1936 pi. Now, Rebecca was asking you a question. This is great, but I need an actual decimal value. Now, how to get that? If your calculator just says that and doesn't have the decimal value, you need to press a button that looks like that with squiggles. If you need me to show you, I can. When you press the decimal value, you get what? Well, yeah, I know pi is 3.4, but what was this whole thing when you typed it in?
6,082.
Point what? Give me one decimal. Point what? Okay, and then what I didn't count off on the quiz, but I am going to count off on the test because you're driving me wild with it. Area is squared, so it is inches squared. You don't put the squared after the end of the number. You put the squared after the units. If you're concerned you're going to make that issue happen, then don't put the units at all. But if one more person puts the squared in the wrong spot, or inches without the squared, okay, so it's your turn to try the next one. I'm going to work it out on my paper. When you get it, go ahead and tell me your answer. It should be very similar. Somewhere in there.
How do you do it on the couch?
Yeah, flip it sideways. Nobody has the answer to this one yet?
I got 3.361, but I suck at this one.
Yes, ma'am. Somebody tell me.
I got 314.1.
Point what? I got 314.2, but again, we are not launching nuclear codes this time. We are not launching nuclear codes, thankfully. If Savannah has 341.1 or Cassie has 3.14.3, if she's within the realm of the 314, I'm going to give it to her. Thank goodness. Let's talk about how I got 10. So we know from here to here was 9. And just like in our last example, the cover is a little longer than the umbrella. So the radius of the cover is not 9, but the radius of the cover is 10. Is there anyone concerned about how I got to 10? Okay. Brianna gets most of her points for writing the correct formula, for attempting to plug stuff in. Yes, I want to see the decimal, but my God, please notice all the other stuff on Miss Compton's paper besides just a decimal number. Don't you think I could have done that part in my head? I could, but I don't, because I like to make my A. But that is me. Okay, number 3. Because 18, the whole diameter, so half of that diameter would be 9. If we were to cut that diameter in 2 pieces, it'd be 9 and 9. The diameter is double the radius, or the radius is half the diameter, however you want to say that to yourself. Okay. We get to number 2, it says, find the radius of a circle. They tell us the area. So we get to plug in 58 for the A. We are going to solve for R. What is the first thing I should do to solve for R? Ma'am. Divide by pi. And we are allowed to divide by pi. Pi is a strange number, but still just a number. So I need you to, it's fine that you're rounding. What is 58 divided by pi? 18.46. Okay, so I got 18.46 equal to r squared. Man.
Square root of the 18.4.
Perfect. We have to take the square root of both sides because it was r squared, not just r. So when you take the square root of both sides, you get 4.3 is equal to r. Again, if Savannah has 4.2, 4.4, as long as she's within the realm of the 4, I'm going to give it to her. People not choose the right area formula. I cannot get my issues over rounding at this moment. I've got to pick my battles in life. My important battle is not can Savannah round just so at the moment. Okay, so we divided by pi. We got 18.46. It was r squared. We had to get rid of that squared, so we took the square root of both sides. We got 4.3. It is your turn. Try the next one. It should be very similar. Tell me when you have your answer. Agreed. I thought the last section was so easy. I was so wrong, apparently. Apparently too easy.
It was so easy, it was hard.
I know. That's what it really seems like. That's easy math for me. Like I can do strange things, but I can't.
But you are
Adding and
also-
subtracting is not, whew. Man, tell me what you got. Just tell me what the R was.
3.8.
Everyone agree with the 3.8? Okay, I got 3.8 as well. I divided by pi.
What?
I got the square root. I took the square root of both sides. I got 3.8. Ugh. Words.
Hold on.
Just something.
Yes, what?
Just the addition rate in kindergarten.
Hmm.
I don't know how to do it.
Okay. Or is there anyone who has any problems with this? Now, what could potentially happen while they're paused on this? Let me use my words. What happens on the worksheet, because Cassie's right, when I finish these easy examples, I'm going to hand you the worksheet. You can read with the best of them. Alexiana's already read it. Apparently there's a worksheet. It's also due this week. Duh. On the worksheet, there's potential that you'll have to solve for the radius, and then they'll ask you for the diameter. So you would need to double it. So instead of 3.8, you would have to do 3.8 times 2, which is 7.6 for the diameter. There's potential they'll ask you for the diameter. Take your radius and double it.
Alright.
Okay, flip to the back if you're good to go.
My back was hurting.
Okay, so I've slightly lied to you, somewhat, in that I do feel sorry for you on this one. This formula shall make the board, but it will be the only one on the board for the rest of the week. However, even though it's on the board, let's face it, if Danielle doesn't know when to use it, it will not be useful to her. The reason this one's going to make... Get it together. The reason this one's going to make the board is because it involves a vocab term we've not talked about before until today.
Degrees.
We have talked about degrees before, girl.
A pi. Sector.
Sector. My goodness. Okay, a sector. It's hard. A sector is a slice. When I think of sector, I think of a slice. A slice of pizza, a slice of pie, some portion of our circle.
A slice of my life.
It's a slice. And I'm also going to write, oh my goodness, you're on my nerves. I'm also going to write another word that starts with an S to help me even further. And that's the word shaded. Notice the part, and what we're going to worry about is the shaded part. The slice or the shaded part. Okay, so our first example asks us to find the area of each shaded sector, round to the nearest tenth. So I like to write down my formula, degrees divided by 360 times pi r squared. What number should I plug in for the degrees? What number should I plug in for the radians? Okay, and honestly, you can type that entire line just like that in your calculator if you would like. And let's face it, if some reason Will mistypes it, as long as she's shown me all his work, I take off maybe 1 point. Not much at all. Okay, you typed it in, and what did you get?
87.3.
Okay, so and Will actually read the directions. It said nearest tenth, so 87.3. You can type that entire line in your calculator just like that.
I'm gonna move it up a bit because it's like, I had to convert it to a decimal, but it's my
His is weird because you have to do the fraction decimal button. He typed it in just as it was on his paper. He got that. Hey, that's not a decimal. He pressed the fraction decimal button that I'm telling you go on your calculator. He finally got his decimal, 87.3. If for some reason that is an issue for you, please see me. Okay, and I would say, like we did on the front side, it's your turn. Go ahead and try the next one, but I can't yet. We need to talk about something first. What is different between this circle and the example above? The outside is shaded. So the part we're taking out, the sector, is actually this huge portion. So when I plug in my formula, you better not plug in the 20. Because the 20 is for the portion that's remaining. That's not the degrees you need to plug in. If you know, yeah, you know how many degrees are in a circle.
87. I'm just kidding.
Oh my Lord. So make sure you use that when you solve. Go ahead and try. Tell me what you get.
So it'd be 20 degrees.
No, do not plug in 20.
145.3.
What?
340. It's 340. You did not listen to a single word I said.
Nope.
I know.
Oh, now I get it.
I got it.
Yeah, 145.4.
Cassie, I'm drop.
Cassie, you did not listen to a word I said. That makes me sad. Good gravy. I know. Your table's super distracted today. Savannah's gonna have to get you off. Notice that the shaded piece was not the 20 degrees. Notice the shaded would be the rest, 360 minus 20, 340. That is the only way they can trick you with sectors. Is potentially, that is super annoying, is that potentially they can give you the degrees of the other portion.
Why would they do that to us?
To actually make you use your brain. God forbid you do that in math class today. Yeah, well then you for sure can't do the one with words. So a pie has a diameter of 9 inches and it's cut into 10 pieces. This is not art class. Do not judge my drawing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Mine is not a very good one because mine are not congruent sizes, but that's neither here nor there. So I have this formula. Again, first thing I do is write it. Degrees divided by 360 times pi r squared. I need to figure out a number to plug in. Let's first deal with the r. What should I plug in for r? Yes. Yes, ma'am. So notice it says diameter of 9, meaning this entire length is 9. A radius would be half of that. So 9 divided by 2, which is 4.5, would be our radius. Very good. 4.5. Now, I need to plug in something for the degrees. What should I plug in for the degrees?
30s.
How?
Because 36 divided by 360 divided by 10.
360 divided by 10 is 36. Why did he divide by 10? Because there were 10 slices. If there were 8 slices, I would divide by 8. If there were 12 slices, I would divide by 12. You take 360 and divide by your number of slices. Because our pizza has 10 slices, and we want only one slice, we do 360 divided by 10. Keep in mind, I've seen some just this easy on the ACT. However, the only way they step it up a notch is instead of it being just one slice, they'll take out 2. So then instead of doing 36 degrees, you would have to do 72 degrees because 36 times 2 is 72. That'd be my only thought. Okay, you typed it in your calculator and you got what?
6.4.
You weren't reading the directions then.
Oh, then that would be 6.36.
6.36 inches squared. Perfect. Again, Will was genius because he finally read the directions, but also because he realized you divide by the number of slices. Are there any questions about this? Surely we're good to go. But I thought we were good to go last week. And I'm telling you, I don't think I've been as sad to see your tests as I was to see the quizzes from last week. They were a heartbreaker.